Hey, welcome to the live. Welcome, Brittany and Egyptian Warrior. I've been seeing you chatting, and Pittsburgh and Texas. Whereabouts in Texas are you? Hello, Lily. Hope everyone is okay. Hope that you're all good. Yeah. How's everyone getting on? How's everyone getting on with this Scorpio season? How are you all doing? Hey, Brownsville, you see the wall? I see the, oh my goodness. Oh, wow. That's really south, isn't it? Hi, Lily. I hope you're doing well. Oh, wow. Well, I mean, it's a fence, isn't it? It's like a iron fence at the moment. Is it an actual wall? I think it's still a fence, isn't it? Rebecca, hello. Welcome. Hi, Karen. Hope you're doing well. How's everyone getting on? How's everyone doing today? Welcome to this general collective live reading. I'm wearing a summer top because I'm already fed up with autumn. Yeah, so how's everyone doing? We're in a wet and rainy England standard. It's clocks went forward at the weekend, so we're going dark. Things go dark very early now. Hello, Quintina. I hope you're doing well. Iron Wall, yeah. Oh, dear. Brownsville. It's a small town, isn't it? Better than expected. Can't relate. Can't relate. Lily S. Past few days have been full of drama, honestly. Scorpio season hit me hard with all kinds of things. Lily, what's your placements? Because I feel like the freaking... They are... I'll be really honest with you, and let's see if it comes up in the cards today. The impression I'm kind of getting from people is that... I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like for those... You're a Pisces sun and a Virgo rising... Where are we at? We're in Scorpio. Yeah, so you're water sun. See, that's the thing, isn't it? Your Virgo rising, so that would make you 11th house with the sun, as in where Scorpio is. I'm the same, emotional, anxious. This energy is something else, man. Not doing too great to be honest, struggles or anything. Rebecca, it is. It's like a freaking wall within a wall, within a wall, within a wall, within a blanket, with a fog, within a wall. And to be honest with you, I'm actually just going like that now, because and what that kind of gesture is to say, as long as I'm keeping my responsibilities, that's all I care about. Like I'm not going to try and... It's like I'm wading through quicksand right now with anything else other than my work. So I'm just not even going to try and put pressure on myself, because this energy is just like, wow, obviously there's a lot to release then. But we've got to remember, as empaths, if you are an empath, is what is your energy and what isn't. So I'm just kind of, without obviously outside of work, I'm scaling my energy totally back. I'm hermiting up. So I'm doing an additional Virgo season, essentially. You're feeling a little bit better today. Co-worker has COVID and now I'm under quarantine. Oh, Quintina, they're saying you'll be okay. You'll be okay. That's what the guides are saying. But yeah, what a nightmare. Lily, truth is coming out in my life in every aspect. There's been nasty truths and those that have been cruel. Lily, that's it, isn't it? It's like, do you know what I've found as well? Okay, we can view some as being karmic that we've got to learn from. But do you know what I'm very aware of at the moment is that some people are not healed at all. And they don't care what they do. There's a distinct lack of awareness, and as long as I'm putting my own best foot forward, that's all I can do. But I've discovered that there are some people that are that wounded that have just, they don't care. And so you've got to... This is why we, in my opinion, we went into this lockdown and all this stuff, because there's a bit general disconnect in the collective of being aware and totally not being aware. And obviously with my work, I connect with different people, but I feel like the more we're exposing ourselves to all types, the more it's like a roller coaster. I really appreciate staying to myself, so it's a blessing to me. Same here. I to be honest with you, I prefer my own company as well. Lily, sorry to hear that, Brittany. That's so true. Hurt people hurt people. Yeah, and this is the thing. It's all coming out in Scorpio season, and the people that it's like there's. Do you know what it is? It's like I feel like next month is going to be the wall where people are like it, because I feel like people are just running at the moment into anything, and that's where there's this total disconnect. And I feel like they're going to get to this temperance season, which is Sagittarius, at the end of November, and it's going to kind of, I don't think Scorpio season is going to hit them. It's like the last reading we did where we're almost like a month behind, where things are not registering with people until later on. And so, and what I said, especially about how people are not putting things together yet, and they're not really understanding the bigger picture with it. So I'm going to do that for me. And if people don't want to do that, then that's not my issue then, is it? So I'm just trying to look at the bigger picture, but without worrying too much about it and just focusing on me. If people learn, they learn. If they don't, then it's not my, I mean, I'm not God. So Nick Ferguson. Hey, Nick, hope you're doing well. Yeah, being aware or care, never seen such polarization in the last few years. COVID has exposed us for those who care and those who don't care with no empathy. Nick, 100%, especially if you're in the UK, you're going to, and I think is the energy in the UK at the moment is, I don't have words. And I can't even go on. I don't know if you're on Twitter a lot at the moment, Nick, but I don't even want to be around that. There's such, I remember, and I know without mentioning too much about the political side of things, because I know they'll flag my stream, the 12/12 election in this area that I'm in. I'm in a Tory stronghold area. I'm in Michael Gove's area. I'm in his constituency. So I don't know if that gives you an indication of what the energy is like around here, because I feel it. But there's no coincidence where we're at the moment. We would have been placed in a position in order to transmute that. But Nick, you're 100% spot on with that. There's a huge polarization. It's designed to bring that energy out in order to kind of transmute it all and alchemize it to move forward. But to get to that point of transition, there has to be more healing. Feel for you in that constituency. Yes. It used to be very, very nice here. That's all I'm going to say. Before it was his constituency, it was very nice here. That's all I've got to say. Now, oh, I mean, I could go. This is a whole different stream I can go into with that subject. You can see where they're making their money. Let's put it that way, and you can see where they're not putting money into it, because it's extraordinarily polarized here. You've got villages that you go through that are very polarized in appearance. So one would, I mean, it's like that anywhere, but it's becoming more obvious, I feel. So the lesser supported areas are becoming more obvious, and the more supported areas, you can visually see the polarization, in my opinion, which is what's causing problems, because people aren't stupid. They can see it. So yeah, the areas, we're in half term now. My mum's off work, so yeah, she works in school. Hi Mia, I hope you're doing well. Twitter, social media, etc. is very negative at present, which drags us all down. I'm trying to keep positive and to express caring. Good for you. Yeah, exactly that. Just keeping the heart center as open as you can, sort of being a bit defensive almost, not in a negative manner, but just so you're protecting yourself, but keeping the heart center open is definitely what I recommend, because you don't want to sink to that level. But at the same time, you know, it's I mean, we've been kind of battling that since years. You know, it's become more obvious. And so yeah, if it helps, I don't think we're going to be in this energy much longer. If it helps, it can't sustain. You can't sustain this kind of energy. Hey Mia, don't worry about being, it's fine, no worries, hon, we're not starting yet. So especially in Scorpio season at the moment, I feel like there's, what they're saying is a whitewash. It's like this whitewash of this energy that's an undercurrent that's being brought to the surface that people are becoming very aware of. It's becoming tangible, you know, and that I don't feel like that has been the case so far up until now. And I think people are becoming a little bit more, you know, vocalized about it all, which is fair enough because, you know. So let's have a look at the cards. Let's jump in. Let's see what Spirit have to say today, guys. Let's see if we've got some good news, eh? Oh dear. Oh, okay, we do have good news. Who's getting a promotion? Someone's getting an upgrade. Look, promotion. We've got Gibbeth. This is the lovely Moon Oracle, waxing air moon buds promotion. There's something that's in a growth spurt at the moment here that was planted. And again, don't forget, we had the corn harvest moon at the beginning of October, and we've got another second moon on the 31st, which is a Taurus full moon, which is a hunter's moon, going after what you want. And I feel like there's a promotion, an upgrade, an expansion. It could be work upgrade, it could be you being recognized for something, you being acknowledged. Oh, don't worry, Clara, don't worry, hum, it's absolutely fine, not a problem. I was going to say it's going to be up to you when we end this. It's going to be up to you whenever we want to end this. So yeah, so there's something in the air. There's a tangible energy here of growth, but it's not quite with us yet. So there's something that's on offer. There's definitely, because I keep picking up about news coming in as well. There's news coming in. I keep channeling that information. And they're telling me to pass on the same situation or the same information. Is we're getting a letter C when it's associated with that. So it could be a company name, a surname, a road name, you know, take it as a person's name. But there's something to do with the letter C here. In fact, it's ironic actually, because can you see this moon? I know it's in the sort of opposite here, but you can see it looks even like a C. There's something about the C here. And interestingly, we've got first quarter waxing fire moon leaves, and then we've got competitiveness in the reverse. So have you oh, well done. Oh, is that what you're going for, Egyptian warrior, from team leader to supervisor? Well, good luck with that. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully you'll get that. If you've been in a position where there was a kind of choice between ego and standing back, and you chose to stand back, there's an acknowledgement coming with that. So I'll give you an example. If you got to a position where you were on a path and you felt like, if I keep pushing this, I'm going to go against myself and other people, or I'm going to hurt other people, or I'm hurting myself, and you decided to, you know, clear the route and sort of really give it space, rather than maybe involving yourself in a situation. So for example, it's a frustrating situation that maybe you felt you weren't quite in charge of. Hello, Rachel. Oh, bless you. Ireland, lovely. Is that South Ireland, is it? The Republic, is it? Beautiful part of the world. There's an acknowledgement for that. So if you've had a frustration, beautiful part of the world, very, very stunning. My background, my mum's background is Celtic. So yeah, I've got friends in the north of Ireland, Northern Ireland, but I've never been, or I don't know many people in the south. So I hope you guys are doing well over there today. If you've had a situation that they're just saying restlessness, where you're urging yourself to kind of run forward into a situation that maybe wasn't ready, or, you know, you're wanting to kind of get into it, and it may have, you felt like, oh, well, is it going to go against me? Maybe you didn't have that awareness, but it was almost like a situation that wasn't quite ready, or hasn't been ready, and you're urging yourself, you're pushing yourself to go into it and run into it, and you're feeling frustrated because you're being pulled back, and there's obstacles and there's things. It's Spirit is saying, if you've pulled yourself back, rather than entertaining the ego side of things and just kind of competing on this point, then there's something that Spirit are acknowledging you for here, because we've got promotion and competitiveness in the reverse. So they're just saying that they're acknowledging you. If that resonates with you, they're acknowledging you. Interestingly, we've got Demeter, which is one of the moon goddesses here. Can you see? Look at her hair. harvest. Now, in a lot of cultures and backgrounds, the hair determines that. I mean, look, they say they don't like, they're very funny about me cutting my hair, because I can feel things that, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I can feel things out of my hair. There's some cultures, I think it's native, that only cut their hair, I think it's on a new moon, is it? Or that's a ritual for them. But there's something about putting out the feelers here and feeling out a situation, and almost like preempting that something wasn't quite tangible or right, and someone's stepping back. And the fact that you stepped back and kind of looked at the overall bigger picture, it was almost like, do you remember that message we channeled where we're looking that way and something's coming from that way? Someone's actually learned and hasn't fallen into that trap, and spirit acknowledging you for that. So if you've pulled yourself back, if you caught yourself before you've fallen into something, spirit are acknowledging you for that. So I don't know if that resonates with anyone. Let me just read what Demeter says in here, because they're asking me to read from the book now. Let me just see what Demeter says. So again, it could be a job opportunity. It could be a love interest. Just take it as it resonates. Here we go, Demeter. Won't read all of it. It says, the goddess symbolizes the loss of something that one holds dear or is important to you, although eventually what has been lost will be returned. It will be conditional and not quite in the way that you expected. Concerning the question, there is some trickery involved, and you may have to accept a compromise. Someone will take advantage of your vulnerability. The third of the red goddesses, Demeter, represents maturity and preservation through the application of a systematic approach and aiming for perfection. The nature of Earth in Virgo is to make sure that the requirements of everybody are met so that things can fall into place to suit all concerned. If the Demeter card is selected, then September will be a significant month with regard to the question. So something significant might have happened in September. If you fell for it but stopped because you realized what was going on and pulled back, then it's exactly the same. Then yeah, they're acknowledging you. If you've held yourself back, and also September resonates, this could be for you as well, but it's this is an earth sign energy. Do you know, it's really interesting. She's associated with poppies, and we've got the 1111 portal coming up, but also there's a commemoration with poppies in England with that. The waves and the water droplets below represent the washing of herself in the river Laden after her ravishment by the sea god in the guise of a stallion. There's a cleansing here. There's a cleansing. People are being smoked out. All of the wrong situations are being smoked out. All of the wrong choices, all the wrong things. So after the lesson was learned, the crops that she was tending died. So it's standing for loss. It's standing for loss. It's emotional loss. So you could have made a situation, you could have pulled back from a situation because you knew you would have to maybe kind of sacrifice yourself for it. Someone else is feeling that loss. So, but this is the thing, in the bigger picture, it's actually helping the situation. From what I'm looking at here, is actually helping the situation. I feel like let's pull one more card and then we'll pull the tea leaf oracle, because this is what they want me to focus on at the moment. Let's see, what else can you tell us about the situation before we jump into the tea leaf oracle, please? So we've got Athene, which is in the reverse. This is the card here. Rachel Darby, you can claim this, can you? So can you see it's like a battle. There's I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me just wait for the camera to focus. There's a defensive pose here where there's an animal that's almost sort of attacking the energy. It's Athene energy. So let's quickly read from the book here. Athene is now Gemini air. So you've got air and you've got earth, right? White goddess, Gemini air. Too many irons in the fire. So there's too many energies involved here. This goddess reveals that the questioner possesses a wealth of inherited talents and gifts. They can be used for the good of others or for self-advancement. Athene suggests that solely looking after your own interest may not be the way to achieve the result you want. It may be that if you use your abilities in the service of others, you'll gain your desires in a more positive and fulfilling way. The last of the young white goddesses sees each problem as a chance for creative thought. The nature of air in Gemini is versatile and broad-minded. There is a danger of being too diverse in attitude for the current situation. If this goddess card is selected, then June will be a significant month with regards to the question. So let me just skim through this so I can see what they're trying to say here. So Zeus gave her the shield and the principal weapon, which is the thunderbolt. So this is like a revelation. This is almost like a revelation here. Her emblem was the owl, which you could... There's a different solution to the problem. You need someone who is relating to the situation, who's taken a certain stance, has to look at the situation and take a different stance to it, which is not the normal. So for example, if you're defaulting into a previous setting of standing back, or you're defaulting into a previous setting of staying in a situation, you need to find an intermediary, because whatever this is not working either. They're asking you to look at it again. Yeah, there's too many people, too many energies involved in this. Someone is also using energy for the good of themselves as opposed to the good of others. And I'm hearing loss. If that's the case, it's a loss. So just make sure there has to be balance here with this. Let me intuitively go with these cards now, because there's nothing else in that book that jumped out. What are you defending? Are you defending a principle, or are you defending something deeper? Are you defending an ego, or are you defending something deeper? Because don't forget, Gemini is the twins. So there's a masculine and feminine element, and it's almost like there's a battle within here. They're saying a different approach is needed. If you can resonate with this and you've taken a very hardline approach, we need to look into that, because there's something more to this that is not. The guides are saying there needs to be an intermediary or a different way of doing this. It's not to be competitive. That's not what they're talking about. But this is a lesson. I'm hearing surrender. This is about control. This is about control. I'm just taking some tea leaf cards as well while I tune in, so I'm picking up on the energy. This is definitely something that's going to come to a climax around the my schedule is very flexible. Oh, bless you. Yeah, okay, awesome. Right, let's pull these cards and see what else they're going to show us here. Greed. So they're showing us greed here. We've got to be very careful of this. Greed. Pig. They're talking about greed in relation to this. We've got beetle, good fortune. So if someone's been greedy to look after themselves as well, then they're saying take a different stance with that. But there's a good fortune here. There's teardrop. So this is about personal sorrow. And then we've got diamond. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. So there's a situation here that has called for someone to... Okay, so this is how I'm reading. There's a million different scenarios here, because I'm reading for a certain collective that there are going to be different scenarios. I'll try and give all the scenarios I'm getting. So we've got one scenario here that you've got more than a couple of people involved in a situation. One is trying to be very unconditional here, and the other one is not. Is the polar opposite of that. The one that's trying to give and, you know, be fair is taking a step back, and that is now in that person's favor. The one who's shooting ahead and is greedy about what exactly they're going after, there's something that they're having to learn in this. And at the moment, they're not showing what that will be, but at some point that will probably catch up with them. We've also got someone here that is being sneaky with their time and their energy and their efforts for money, for monetary purposes. And I'm hearing they don't want to give back. They don't want to give back. They're saying it's going to catch up with them. And it could be something that maybe you felt was acting, you know, people weren't giving to you. Maybe I feel like this is a character that was maybe not giving to you and was holding themselves back. So you had the after effects of that. They're also going to come to a realization. Then we've got someone fighting for the sake of fighting is another thing. And it's done with, they're saying it's done with malice. So there could be some energies here that are deliberately egoic and they're fighting for the sake of fighting. But you've also got some that are just a bit disillusioned and wounded, and so they're fighting for the sake of it. Within this energy, if you slot into one of these scenarios, or you can resonate with what I was saying before, the best approach is neither, which is they're saying you need to take a different stand with this. So don't then interject your energy, because it's gonna create a different alchemized resistance, is how I want to say it. But at the same time, you don't have to just totally ignore it. There needs to be some kind of intermediary, a balance to it, because there's a lesson in there for you as well. There's a, okay, if you struggle with control issues, you figured so much. Have you already worked it out? Have you, Danielle? If you've already, if you struggle with control issues, this is especially for you. Because what it's doing is it's stretching you to the point where you don't have those issues, because control is a part of your ego. I'll rephrase that. Control is a part of our ego. Yeah, because we all have ego. We're souls living a physical existence, and we're given ego. It's how we use it. They're saying there's a different way. There's a different way. Don't get suckered into the more physical reality way of utilizing this. And overextending and or trying to control a situation that is not meant for you to control. Let's see what else we can pick up here. Let's pull some tarot actually to try and get a read on this, because this is a central message that they want me to kind of focus on. So again, maybe you resonate with this, maybe you don't. I don't know. If you do, perfect, we'll get some more information, and if you don't, then I'm not sure what to say there. Maybe the message is not for you. So we're going to utilize the vice versa, I feel, is what we're gonna. What you're not feeling that, are you? Are you feeling this one? They want me to use a new deck. I think we may be using the witchcraft, the silver witchcraft tarot. Now, before anyone panics about the name of this, this is a Celtic inspired, a pagans inspired tarot deck. In no means am I, you know, telling you that this is my path and this is what I practice and all this other stuff. The illustrations are very beautiful, very, very beautiful. It's one of the decks that I would have been drawn to for a long time, and that, again, I told you that when I try and work, I try and put money back into the channel, and this was one of the decks that jumped out. Now, again, if you're not comfortable with these kind of decks, I understand. Some people really aren't. However, I'm channeling directly from up here. The cards are a tool for that, because I know some people get triggered by these cards, or some cards. Not worked it out. Guardians are so strong. My damn ego is strong as well. Yeah, let's have a look. This is, I relate. I relate. Right, let's see what you're going to try and show us here, Spirit. Oh, here we go. They're giving me some kind of, I don't know what this is. Whoever's you're channeling has rhymed to me. I don't know what this is. This is, I mean, okay, 0 to 100 with the connection with the cards. Okay. Very strong pagan links here. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see what you're going to try and show me. You want to come out. 2 of Swords. Let's try and get this without the focus too heavily on. Hang on, let's get the focus here. Sorry guys if this is... Can you see how small those swords are? They've got to be the smallest two swords I've ever seen. Rebecca, guys, you've got to remember you've got to remember this is in my opinion, this is not easy, but thank goodness we're a little bit aware to the point where we can work through it. Some people, that's why you're seeing people that are going they're all over the place, because they don't know what this is. You're almost at a realization or a kind of a point where you can see, because can you see that the swords are not blocking the eyes? Because usually she has the blindfold on and then the swords are like this. The swords are down. The last thing is to release the swords and take the blindfold off. This is a deliberate attempt of not seeing. So if it's you, why don't you want to see it? And I'm hearing it's because it's too painful, because this energy is loaded and it's too much. It's because you love too much. It's because you feel so much. It's because it's like this raw nerve. It's a tooth that's been exposed and there's raw nerve there. And so people are overloaded with it. And they're sort of going, no, I can't do this. So you're getting everyone pushing back. But what about the point that's being lost? Or, I mean, yeah, family, children, friends, co-workers, lovers, you name it. It's with every situation from where I'm looking at it. So yeah, everyone is being triggered deliberately to release everything. It's no, what did I say to you? I said November is no joke. That November is absolutely no joke. You know? Oh, Quintina, that's so sweet. Bless you, Rebecca. Well done for saying that, because I've missed that comment. Rebecca, yeah, Quintina, totally. Yes, I understand you. And of course you can. I hope you can be yourself on here. That's a good thing. I'd like to think you guys can. You know, that's awesome. Keep going with it, Rebecca. Bless you. You're so sweet, Rebecca. You're so sweet. Right. Can you see here around these swords? There are butterflies as well. Okay, now I'll just wait for the camera to focus because you can't see that. Right, so can you see here? We've got butterflies around these swords here. Excuse the awfully painted nail varnish. So there's transformation coming, because after the Two of Swords comes the Three of Swords, which is that emotional release, heartbreak, loss, sorrow. And then comes the Four of Swords, which is that meditative, that contemplation, that review state, to have a look at what's going on. So there's going to be a tower moment. If the tower doesn't come up, I'll be shocked. So in relation to this resistance that I've mentioned before, with a situation where people are just kind of, again, banging heads against the wall, the resistance is what they want me to kind of focus on, is the word that of focus here. The moon. The moon, hence why I got the moon oracle. Look at that. If you ever saw this is why I love these cards, because they're like ta-da. There's something about these cards as well that I don't know. This energy is very beautiful. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why, but I'm getting Celine. I don't know why, but I'm getting Celine with that card. Why am I getting Celine? Did we pick up the book? Where's the book? I thought I put the book here, but obviously not. Yes, I did. Why am I getting Celine with that card? I don't know. I just keep getting Celine, which is a moon goddess as far as I know. There's something significant about Celine, though. Let me jump in and see what I can Google quickly about Selene. And now my phone's going to be notifications kicking off here. Selene moon. All right, enough with the notifications. Here we go. Is the goddess of the moon. She's the daughter of the Titans, Hyperion and Thea, and the sister of the sun god Helios. The goddess of the dawn, she drives her moon chariot across the heavens. Yeah, it's a really beautiful deck. Selene is my friend who passed. Her birthday was on the 25th. Oh, no. Oh, no. Was it just her birthday? Oof, I can feel that. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rachel. That's horrible. My friend's anniversary is coming up soon. It's just really, I hate. It's such a sad thing, isn't it, when you're having to say goodbye to people, or even if you don't get a chance to say goodbye. My friend's anniversary is coming up at the beginning of December, and yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. Selene has the power to give sleep and to light the night. She has control over time. And like the moon itself, she's ever changing. It's interesting then that she's one of the most enduring parts of Selene's myth, has to do with keeping her beloved Endymion in an unchanged state for eternity. So it's almost like someone wants to pause time with this. Someone's trying to pause time with this energy. You've got someone that's trying to block deliberately. You've got someone that is confused, and you've got someone else who's trying to pause because they don't know what to do. In fact, there's also this energy here of this month, this Scorpio season is to pause. It's not meant to act, is what they're saying. This is not, they're not meant to act. That you're not meant to compete. Hence this competitive card in the reverse. The Athene as well, that defensive energy. You're not meant to be competing. Again, don't forget the pig card, the greed. This is meant to be a pause for review. This is meant to be a pause for review. Can you see she's standing on like a plinth as well? She's raised off the surface. So she, again, is she grounded? I mean, I feel like she's raising herself just to sort of, energize and stay around that moon. But something about what was lost is, hang on. What was lost will soon be found. This deck, they're giving me riddles with this deck because I'm channeling someone else that's linked, probably an ancestor, to be totally honest with you, because I have got Celtic roots. But with this deck, they're giving me riddles. I'm like, can we get some English, please? I'm trying to give a reading here. But whoever's designed this deck and whoever was channeling this person when they did this deck, I'm picking up on that person, and it's like this old, it's very Chaucer, old English Chaucer. I don't know if you know Chaucer. The moon, there's a pause here to reflect. There's a pause. It's like, this is how they're giving it to me. There's a vessel here. Do you remember the last reading we picked? In fact, it wasn't the last reading. There was a reading that I did for the bi-monthlies that had the vessel. I think it was the Cancer reading, which would make sense because the moon can be ruled by Cancer and Pisces. In fact, in this card, I would assume it's ruled by Cancer. We picked up the vessel in the Cancer reading. And this month does remind me of that. It reminds me of a picture. In fact, it was the picture card that we picked up, that a tap is on, and it's slowly dripping into this jug or this pitcher. And by the end of the month, the end of Scorpio season, the tap's going to be turned off and the pitcher's going to be picked up with all that body of water. So usually in Scorpio, it's like we're a month behind. Usually in Scorpio season, it's that purging, it's that kind of release. But I don't think this month it is. I think it's that you're holding everything. But I think it's done deliberately so that you can purge it at the end. So they're saying if you keep pushing it away, you're not going to be quite doing this right. Because, again, easier said than done, right? Because, like, listen, ain't no one going to sit and walk into that kind of energy unless you're completely, like, fearless, you know. But they're saying the more you can almost pause to understand, because don't forget what we say about healing is to walk into it and feel it is the most needed energy. It's the most necessary and needed energy here. I feel like crying now because I'm picking up on Celine, I'm picking up on other Celine, I'm picking up on Rachel. I feel like my heart's been kicked. I just keep hearing I'm so sorry as well, and I don't know who that's for, but someone keeps saying I'm so sorry. I feel like I want to cry, if I'm totally honest with you. This energy is no joke, is it? I feel like it's a loaded energy. Okay, that threw me now. That's thrown me. So we've got the Ace of Wands. Now, this is the interesting part about this card is usually in the traditional tarot, I mean, that's the most unusual Ace of Wands I think I've seen for a long time. But we've got a harvest here, haven't we? And we've got a hunter. Oh, bless you, Rachel. Oh, bless you. This energy is hard enough as it is. This energy is hard enough as it is. To have to work through that on top of it all that's a different level right there. Because I feel like she was very, very dear to you. You know, I feel like this was a very it's almost like you guys were sisters, if I'm totally honest with you. So I feel like crying saying that to you right now. But you have someone working on your side from spirit, and I know that's no consolation at all, because you don't want, you'd rather her be here, of course. But you have an angel that's guiding you now, which at some point in time you're going to understand the severity and the kind of power behind that. But at the moment, just take the time to try and be you and try and connect with you and your heart. I mean, look, this is not easy, especially when you're losing someone like that. It's like your heart feels like it feels like it's missing sometimes, when you go through that kind of pain. I don't know if you feel like this. You go numb, it goes to the point where you're like numb because it's like an overwhelm. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's too much going on, so you kind of disconnect. I don't know if anyone else understands me when I say that, but it's really hard. Yes, it is really hard. I don't expect anything of you until just take it a second at a time. That's the easiest and best advice I can give. Take it a second at the time, because I think especially when you lose someone, people get into a routine of going, oh, just move on, it's fine. I still haven't, processed my grandfather that passed over still. That's over 12 years ago. Because when you have someone like that passes, it's like your heart goes with them, and it's getting easier to talk about it, but just take it a second at a time, and don't compare yourself to other people healing as well, because that'll also, it will get to the point where you're it's too much to process. Do you know what I mean? Just do what you can do. That's all you can ever do, So we've got the Ace of Wands. So you've got the hunter and you've got the harvest, the 2 full moons of this month. Your 3 older kids passed away in 2013. It's a feeling I can't explain. Kasana. I mean, that's just, I feel like I've been sucker punched in my stomach a little bit here. Oh, your 3 older what? Your 3 older kids? Your dad? Wow. Your kid's dad passed away? Wait a minute, my phone, my 3 older kids' dad. I mean, that's still a lot, but I mean, I was like, I felt like someone was punching me in my stomach then. Why is the world so cruel? When you just kind of think like, can we, I don't know what to say. This is like, this month is, it's brutal. And I picked up on that a couple of months ago, and I warned you guys. I know that's no consolation, but that's why when everyone was trying to rush to get to this point, I was like, please just enjoy this point, because this November's going to be like stretched. You're so stretched emotionally to sort of get you to a certain point. How are your children dealing with that? That's another thing I want to know, because that's a lot to have to deal with for you and for them, you know. Oh, this reminds me that spirit, they don't play, do they? They really do not play. And this is the thing, as much as I can understand how this works, sometimes this is gut wrenching to understand, because it's like, this is a lot of emotion for people to process, really. I feel like you've got your kids have got some very strong energy, spiritual energy around them, though, if that's any help. Like, as in, there's a very strong protective energy around those children. I would say even cherub, angelic energy, to be totally honest with you, because it's like they're trying to buffer that energy out. Their spirit don't play with children either. They're not going to let kids have to. They're going to buff that. They're going to almost like how do I say it? It's like they try and protect from the energy a little bit, especially when they're children, because it's a lot to deal with. But there's definitely an energy of this. They're trying to remove that heavy energy to protect the kids, which, you know, to be honest with you, how we're processing it and how they're processing it is probably two very different things. They're saying it is. So all you can do is, like I say, just take a step at a time, take a second at a time. This is not the kind of month where you can just, you know, fly by the seat of your pants and hope to get through it. There's a very deliberate processing going on here that they're trying to talk you through. And I think the more you're trying to rush through this, it's like they'll push you more. All right. So just again, so the Ace of Wands, it's hard. I imagine how they feel. It's like, wow, I have an ex back who I have 2 younger children with, and he's not good. This is even more reason why this energy here, where you're taking that step back and you're working for you, is important if you've got babies that are going through that, especially if you've got people around you who are still they're healing, they're wounded, and you're trying to heal. You know, just don't expect anything. I would just be taking a second at a time. Your song, Celine Dion, Power of Love. I don't know where that's come from, but okay, I'll take the song. The Power of Love. Yeah. It really is, isn't it? They're showing you all the sides of the coin of love are here, aren't they? It's like, why is this Scorpio season? It's so brutal. What is with the Scorpio season? It's so intense. My heart goes out to you for your loss. May God help you in your healing. May every lighted being support and help the healing, for sure. They do like a challenge, don't they? They do like to put people in a challenge. It's like, you know, when you just kind of think, really, is this what we've signed up for? So as I said, the 2 moons that we've got coming through here, the harvest and the corn harvest moon and the hunter moon, it feels like this is kind of encompassed in one reading. It's transmutation. The Ace of Wands is a spark of inspiration after the 10 of Wands, which is a burden. It's almost like they're trying to light us up a little bit, but to propel us through the next part of the month is how I'm feeling now. Does anyone else get that impression? It's like this is all leading up to us being triggered so badly that we're just like, right, let's do you know what I mean? It's like someone lighting a firework. That's how I feel. Because don't forget, Prometheus is going direct. What did I say about Prometheus? And again, if you want to have a look into that, maybe you're not familiar, but that's what this is on the 7th. So we've got Mercury going direct, Prometheus. So Prometheus is, his intellectual side was emphasized by apparent meaning of the name, forethinker. In common belief, he's developed into a master craftsman, and his connection, he was associated with fire and the creation of mortals, but he's known as the supreme trickster. So I feel like be very careful what you're investing in between now and the 7th. Yeah. It's almost like transmutation. It's like fire by transmutation. It's like there's like, you know how you go through healing by water, you go through healing by different elements. This is almost fire, this transmutation by fire. They're doing it to see what instinctually we do. This is where it's getting sneaky. You know, they're trying to, because Ace of Wands is that spark of action. Bottom of the deck is the Magician. And also, as you can see, this is a female magician and she's pointing to the moon. Illusion, confusion. Moon is all about confusion, illusion, the trickster. So are you being played? So what is the reality here? Is this actually something that you feel strongly about and that is warranting of that response? Or do you need to rethink? Do you need to rethink? Is your ego responding as opposed to you? Yeah, that's how I want to say it. Queen of Cups. Slot back into the Queen of Cups energy. This card, how many times have we had this card in the last couple of readings? How I felt most of October. I mean, like I said, when I was channeling for November, October into November, and November was the worst. Confused and delusional. Yeah. I mean, if you're feeling different now, that's absolutely great. But I would say I'm feeling exactly the same, because I feel like we're in this breaking point almost where we're trying to rationalize everything and we can't. And so we're slotting into an ego, which is our comfort zone, to try and understand what the world is showing us. But you've got to remember, it's an illusion, isn't it? We're projecting what we want to see. So it's actually an internal process that's confused that we need to go within and understand. So there's no point understanding what X, Y, and Z person's doing unless we go within, because that's the reflection of how we feel. So if you're confused and delusional, there's something within you and us all, because I can relate, that is being shifted here, but you can't quite understand it. So they're saying to nurture you in that energy, because it's the most needed energy at the moment, is to nurture you first and foremost. Make sure you're okay. What is that? Can I just say, I've just noticed this. This is also Cancerian energy here. But look, can you see on the bottom of her feet? Let me just, this ring light is doing my head in. If it helps, if it's annoying anyone else, it's annoying me too. Can you see there's like a little imp? It looks like it. Can you see? It's almost like a water sprite or something, but it's playing a sound. There's a water sprite playing a sound here. Do you know what's really interesting? Look at that water behind her. Look how peaceful and serene that water is. And obviously you've got the three kind of stages of the moon, right? You've got the sort of mother, maiden, crone, and the 3 is obviously a pretty important number we've been picking up on. But look how serene that water is. And you've got that imp, that water imp or water sprite that's creating some kind of shift here. I feel dropping into that heart center is going to create a shift if you haven't already done that. Because again, 7 of Cups, bottom of the deck, which is illusions, choices, confusion. Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords. Again, this ring light is driving me mad. So we've got someone riding on, it looks like a kestrel, but this is, again, it's another reference. Oh, wow, this camera. I don't know what's going on with this ring light, but it's driving me mad. Anything technical at the moment I'm not dealing with because of this whole. So can you see he's holding a sword here and he's riding on a kestrel. It's like he's riding on spirit. Drop into your emotional center and just surrender to spirit. The quicker you do this, the easier it's going to be. So if you feel like crying, then cry. I love how the ring light is the shape of the sea, though. Do you know how many people have said that? And they're like, oh, the sea is a really significant letter. And then I posted, that was put on my video last night, on the Leo video. And then I posted on TikTok about a sea name. And the sea is, I don't know who's the sea, but it's like they're obviously trying to show someone something. I know Kasana's got CC name. My life is an illusion. Also, I feel like I've lost my memory like anyone else. So Kasana, if you've lost your memory, that's extreme loss usually, and extreme overwhelm. That's usually a sign of extreme overwhelm, which I mean, from what you're telling me, I'm not surprised, if I'm totally honest with you. You know, so it's very, see, this is the thing, it's there's always a rush to try and understand things and understand what everything is, because we have to be able to function in the world. But this is, I feel, not the time to do that. I feel this is the time to pause and to try and really sit, as hard as it is, to sit in that emotional energy, even if it's extraordinarily difficult. Let's have a look. Yeah. Reconciliation. This is past life energy here. But this is also connecting to children. This is almost like an acknowledgement of the inner child. Yeah, it's not fun, is it, Rebecca? It's actually really not fun. It gets to the point where you're on autopilot, basically, because I mean, to be honest with you, I had PTSD, so you know what I mean. If it's not that, then it's a lot. So yeah, just, and Rebecca can relate as well, unfortunately. But it really is, isn't it? It really is. And especially if you've got children and other responsibilities to look after, that's not, you know, it's a lot to kind of try and work through. PTS for me, yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. They don't mess around putting us through these kind of trials and tribulations, do they? They do not mess around. They're like, let's just keep pushing them. Let's see what happens when this is like, please, no more. You know, it's not good. Just take it a step at a time. I don't put any expectations on you. The more expectations you put on yourself, the harder it's going to be. But you've got to remember, sometimes with having children, that can also be an effect. Especially if you've had a harder birth, the loss of memory could also be connected to that. So make sure, if it isn't, you know, it could be. And why do I feel like there's a bird that's, yeah, there is. Look, can you see this bird that's connected to the pentacle? But it's got an attachment to that one pentacle that's waiting. So there's an offer coming, but it's like you have to get into this mode before an offer's given, which promotion, I assume, would be this. So there's an upgrade coming here, but there's something about shifting into that Queen of Cups energy in order to get that, in order to, you know, get to the goods, so to speak. Possibly that, you know, you've been trying to compete, or you've been trying to maneuver around it, or trying to, you know, move into an energy that was leaving more confusion. Bottom of the deck is the Sun, which is truth. And also the Sun is always the darkest before the dawn. And as you can see here, we've got the Moon and now the Sun. So we've got the two counterparts. We've got the masculine and the feminine here that's appeared. I'm hearing realization, but it's a dualistic realization. It's not just any one person. If they're realizing something about you, you're realizing something about them. But there's a shift here coming, and as soon as you slot into that Queen of Cups energy, it will kind of recalibrate a little bit of energy around you as well. But if you can do that, it's going to really help your next stage. Right, guys, that's me for today. That's me for today, for the live. Okay. Back on Friday. We're going to be uploading the Virgo reading. All right, so just pay attention for that one to come through. It'll be later on, as you roughly normal time. We'll be back to the normal time, because I know we've been running a little bit late last few days because upload speed and other things. I'm just doing other bits and pieces, so pay attention for that and join me on Friday. Have a good evening, good day, wherever you are, guys. I keep my fingers crossed for you. Until next time, take care.